Wars are usually violent, brutal, and costly. But what if a war lasted over 3 centuries with zero fighting? This is the bizarre story of how the Dutch and a tiny English island were technically at war for 335 years. In 1642, England was torn apart by civil war between King Charles I and Parliament. Royalists fled to the remote Isles of Scilly, using them as a naval base. The Dutch, allies of Parliament, had suffered pirate attacks from Royalist ships stationed in Scilly. So Admiral Martin Tromp sailed in and demanded compensation. When Scilly refused to pay, the Dutch declared war, but never actually attacked. Before they could, Parliament forces arrived and forced the Royalists to surrender. Here's the twist. Nobody remembered to sign a peace treaty. The war became a forgotten technicality, lasting for over 3 centuries, longer than the British Empire. In the 1980s, a historian accidentally found that the war had never been ended. The Dutch and the islanders were technically still at war. In 1986, the Dutch ambassador finally traveled to Scilly to sign a peace treaty, officially ending the war, 335 years after it started. Despite lasting longer than any modern empire, the war had no casualties, no battles, and no impact on history, except as a great trivia fact. The 335-year war holds the record for longest war ever, but also the most pointless one. Yet it shows how history can forget even the strangest events. A war that lasted longer than the United States has existed, but was completely forgotten. What other bizarre wars do you know? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video on the real First World War.